I cannot be caught a-slacking. Dropping my name. Ladies and gentlemen, let me wrap you up in a story as warm as a mother's kiss. Or is it? Quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Circus, okay? We're here, but we are here in the midnight hour, right? We're burning the midnight oil. Did I slack off a little bit this week? Yes. Spoiler alert, yeah, I did. Because in the last episode, I don't know which way's back to you. You know, a lot of people choose different directions or just straight behind them. It doesn't matter. It's pointless. It's just a lot of gesturing. What I'm trying to say is in the last episode, I mentioned taking some beats, right? Taking some rest, pacing myself, taking a breath, you know, and not scheduling myself to such strict timing. And I did that, right? I did. I let myself unwind a little bit. And with that came a whole new list and set of problems, one of which is procrastination and laziness and just general distaste for anything that takes effort. And that's what's happening so far. So that's why we're recording this episode right now in the middle of the night. And it's exciting, right? This thing is coming out in just a few hours. You have no idea, and I have no idea. None of us have experienced it so far. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but it's cool. It's cool. Everybody's sleeping. Everything. I'm working in the dark, kind of like Santa in a way. You know, I'm not watching you guys, right? I'm not gonna watch you sleep, but I am gonna freaking drop some joy, some comedy bits or something. Maybe in your sleep, you're like, dude, somewhere in the world, there's a guy who hasn't shaved. And his face is itching beyond, you know, anything else anyone could imagine. But he's dropping freaking joy bombs everywhere. So amazing. And that's me, dude. This whole time you're dreaming of me. So hey, I hope while you guys are sleeping up there, or you know, down, I don't know what altitude levels, but I hope you guys having a peaceful sleep. I hope you guys having a beautiful sleep. But I hope when you wake up, this podcast helps kick off your morning and your weekend in the best way possible. I've got this orange light going on in the background because I read one time that, you know, orange was the color of happiness and joy and positive vibes. Question mark. I was just scrolling through my phone and I saw it and I said, that's fact. And forever, I've never looked it up to reconfirm if it is true or not. It might be the color of horrible diseases, and I wouldn't know. So I'm sorry if this is like, you know, maybe in some cultures you just hate the color orange, and you're like, oh, that's death. Like that color means I'm coming for your family. That color means that I am watching you in your sleep, and I'm sorry if that's what it means. But here, not just in America, but in my closet, orange is just joy. And right now we're trying to radiate some joy, not just only in your slumber, but in your life. And welcome back. Like I said, it is the midnight, the late shift. I do got to be a little bit quiet. Can't let my energy levels get too awesome. But it's hard to contain here on Full Circus, baby. But it feels good. It feels good to be back. And yeah, I've never done a late shift before. Never done the late night, this late at night. And yeah, it's cool. I'm going to try not to be too weird, but I don't want to be, you know, when you walk into a store super late at night, if you've had the pleasure of doing so, the late shift can be kind of crazy, you know? You stroll in, you might see a pirate. You might see a ghost. You might see somebody who doesn't belong there, right? A lot of people just be on drugs. It just doesn't, you know, there's a lot of weird folk, right? You'll stroll into Walmart in just the middle of the night and you're just trying to get some toilet paper because, yeah, it was freaking Taco Tuesday and, you know, your big family, everybody had the runs. But you walk in there, you're like, yeah, where's the toilet paper? This guy's like, dude, welcome to Target. And then, yeah, you know, you're in Walmart, guy's out of his mind, probably stoned or something else, or he's just from California and they just can't distinguish the two. But yeah, you'll find a lot of weird people. You find a lot of weird people in the middle of the night. It's dangerous. It's dangerous out there. It's dangerous out there in the nighttime. There was many times where, you know, I'm a late night snacker myself. Okay, well, I'll stroll out into the wilderness, the Meijer grocery store, and I seen some strange folk, and I'm like trying to peek through the Cheez-It aisle. I'm like, what's going on here? Is this guy out to get me? And some of these people are doing keto, which is like the strangest of all the craps out there. But it's cool. It's cool until it's not. So if you're going out for the late night snacks, that's what I'll just say. Just beware of the weirdos. Or, any late night chef place. And that includes me. But I'm going to try and not be that guy. And I'm not going to be a pirate. And I know you're like, what's with the pirate deal? But you trust me, if you've been there, you know. But yeah, anyways, I've been trying to take a beat. I've been trying to take a breather and really dial it back. I'm trying to ease up on work. And It's been nice. It's been nice to try and ease up on work. And yeah, it's here's the thing about DoorDash like that, or any delivery or whatever it is. You meet a lot of weird people, and there's a lot of interesting situations, and it makes for good content on the podcast. It really does. So I don't know what that's gonna do by dialing it back a little bit, but I don't know. It was just getting a lot. It was getting a lot. I'm constantly rushing everywhere. And I got to this point where I was just zooming so hard, like, I gotta do this, gotta do this, and I got home, and I was just sitting in this Wendy's drive-thru, and I was just like, we gotta go fast. And I was like, why am I just in such a hurry to listen to these people who have zero enunciation, right? You ever walk into a Wendy's and like, I'm walking some decent chicken nuggets, and this isn't even the late shift, right? I don't know if they're technical difficulties. They've always got them, but for whatever reason, whoever's on these speaker can't speak at all. And I've been in the store, I watched them, they just pull it down. They're like, hey, it's gonna be $2.99. I think they're just messing with us, to be honest. But I'm just like, dude, why am I'm stressing out. I'm in such a hurry just to hear these guys freaking gargle in my ear. And I'm like, pick up, and they're like, and so, be careful and just learn to dial it back, though. I'm learning to deal with it. But it did make for a lot of great situations and a lot of fun things that came out of that. One of the things that did happen in the past week, though, before I did stop that, was like I was just seeing a lot of funny names. I was seeing a lot of funny, and I'll go into it deeper in a second. But I saw these people. I took a double order. Basically, it just means two, right? In case you've been working super late night shifts and they didn't talk about that yet. Double is a second, and I took these orders, both named Brett B. Brett B. It's a common name, I assume, but I don't know what their last name was. But it was these orders from Chipotle, and I was picked up Brett B. I was like, oh, this is a glitch. Obviously, the same guy. Looked at it. These are two different orders, two different at least numbers on it, but the address is going right by the other guy. There's two Brett B's on this same street, but they're not the same. They're not the same guy, and I couldn't believe it. And I started looking through the bag because I'm just gonna snoop through a little bit because I'm invested now. I'm like, whoa, the coincidence. I gotta know more. So I'm looking through the bag and checking the ingredients. I'm like, wow, they got similar taste. This guy ordered basically a burrito bowl, all the same stuff, all the same ingredients, except this guy wanted a tortilla. So maybe Brett B number 1 was just trying to drop back on his carbs, and Brett B 2 was like, dude, I'm no keto fool. But they lived like right next to each other, and I was delivering this food, and I was like, I feel like I should take it upon myself to introduce these guys to each other. They're both named Brett B. They both order Chipotle at the same time of day on a Saturday. Kind of beautiful in some ways, and they live right next to. They live right. I don't even know if I'm tripping over my words or what, or if I'm repeating myself. It is super late. Let me just restart. Both named Brett B. Both live on the same street. Both order the same things at the same time. They might be long lost brothers or twins or just the same people made twice. They don't have to be twins, but like two different parents. The same genes somehow perfectly aligned and the same taste buds, but one was like just a little bit more afraid of carbs than the other. And I felt like I was supposed to take it upon myself to do that, except that was the exact day that I decided I was gonna cut back on doing so much. So I was like, I gotta relax a little bit. So I let it go. And that's been weighing on me. So I just wanted to say that into the podcast. So if your name is Brett B, and you've been ordering Chipotle a lot on a freaking Saturday, and you get a nice burrito bowl, and you're not trying to get a tortilla, or vice versa, you're trying to get a tortilla, there's another guy just like you right next to you. Don't know what they look like. I know they were very I did text with them, and they were very conversational. They both text the same emojis. It could be the same guy, but you guys got to meet. You guys got to know. I'll go track you down if you don't meet. But yeah, that was a really interesting coincidence. Another thing that happens with DoorDash is names, like weird names a lot that you're like, wait, is this how it's supposed to be pronounced? Right? You don't want to like show up. So I walked into a place. Let me just start here. I walked into a place and I get an order, and the name comes onto my screen, and it says FAT space THIA. Now I'm thinking this reads Fat Thea, but no one's name is Fat Thea unless their parents just really don't like them. But I'm like, okay, well, might be a coincidence. Don't know if it's a nickname. Could be anything. So I'm like trying to think. I'm like, okay, Faithia, Fatia, whatever. I don't know. So I'm like trying to think of how I can say this, that's not offensive when I walk into this place. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be a bit of a doozy because there's some other ones, but this is a tricky one. You know, like if someone's name is like Steve, and you're like, I don't want to pronounce it like Stave. That's okay. But if you walk into someone's thing and you call them Fat Thea, might not go so well. So I'm like, okay, we got to make sure. I'm sitting in the car before I go in here. I'm like, it's not Fat Thea. It's not Fat Thea. It's not Fat Thea. Literally say anything else. I walk in there. I'm like, I got to pick up for Taya? And they're like, is that for DoorDash? Yeah, that's the non-keto bowl, right? I'm like, yeah, that's the one. He's like, all right, pick up for Fat Thea? All right, cool, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, good to know. And I had another pickup. I was like, oh, well, okay, I might be in the wrong. I have no idea. These people, maybe they work day to day and they just know these guys' names by heart. And then I pick up another guy. This guy's name is Manure. This is how it's read, Manure. I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to say Manure because that would be embarrassing for this guy. I'm not just going to stroll and say, hey, I got to pick up for Manure. And chances are the guy's right there or someone else named Manure is like, it's pronounced Manure. And I'm like, oh, okay, Manure. Okay, sorry, don't be poopy pants. And yeah, so I walked in there. I'm like, Manure? Like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, here, look at it. And he's like, oh yeah, you have to pick up for Manure. Okay, yeah, Manure. We got to pick up for Stinky Pants here. And they didn't say that, but they're like, yeah, Manure. Pick up for Manure. All right, you got it. Hey, have a good day. I'm like, okay, am I just being too polite here, or like maybe it's okay if someone's name is bad, right? It doesn't matter if it's kind of crazy or weird. And I'm like, all right, it's Fat Thea. It's Fat Thea. It's Manure. Whatever. Another order comes in that same day. And I'm thinking, man, maybe I just gotta rip the Band-Aid off, and like if people just say that, because maybe it doesn't even matter. If we don't know, they'll correct us. What's the big deal? So I get another order. It comes in. It says La Trasha. Now, I'm thinking, hey, this has got to be pronounced some other way, right? Now, if this was a Wendy's, they go, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I was walking into this Jimmy John's, and I'm trying to think, like, okay, well, should I even try to say it a different way, or should I just be open and like, okay, this is because the past two times, it's been the worst sounding one so far. So I'm gonna just say it, and if it's not, they'll correct me. It's okay. I'm just being too polite. So I walk in there. I'm like, hey, I got to pick up for La Trasha, and they turn and they're like, what do you say? Her name is Latricia. Latricia, you freaking, what are you jerk? Huh? You gonna stroll in here? They didn't say all this, but they all stared at me, and this is what I felt in my mind. I was like, yeah, pick up for Latrasha? What? Latrasha? Who are you going to call this? This lady ordered a bagel on a Sunday morning. She probably just got back from church. You're going to call her Latrasha? Latrasha? I'm like, oh, sorry. No, dude, no, get out of here. You're done. Go pick up from Manure again. Screw that, dude. And I was just like, I get so confused with these names because sometimes they're pronounced a gentle way and other times it's Fat Thea. And I don't even know what to say. And I feel so bad because I never know if I'm saying it the right way or the wrong way, because even if I don't, like, it's like it was almost offensive to these people, even though they're not the people. If I strolled in there and I said Fatia, and they're like, yeah, no, it's Fat Thea, you jerk. Thanks for pronouncing my name wrong. Give me a little leeway, okay? I'm trying to be a gentle soul, a gentle guy, but it's hard. It's hard because a lot of people have some tricky names. And if your name is Fat Thea, give someone a heads up and say you can say that, because it's not mean. That's just my name. It's not an insult, and it's gonna be crazy. What else happened with DoorDash? We'll just go through the list, because if we're gonna be leaving the game, then we might as well just burn through all the stuff we ever usually talk about. Dude, there are some massive houses that you stroll through. If you're doing DoorDash, right? If you're just doing any delivery gig, or you're just driving through your neighborhood, places you've never been before, you wander around some crazy big, huge islands, right? It's an island. I'm walking, they drop the bridge. I'm strolling across the water. They got crocodiles. It's super fancy. It's a kingdom. It's a castle. And I'm like, holy crap. Where am I? And this just keeps happening. The more I venture around, there's just mansions around here. This isn't a rich neighborhood. I don't know where people are getting this crap, but it's just like everything I want. There's more houses. Some people have 2 houses. Some people had a dog with like 3 legs, and I was like, wow, that's kind of sad. But then he was running faster than the other dogs. Like, oh wow, he's an athlete dog. That's even more impressive than my dog, because my dog can't even learn to sit. And but it's just crazy, it's crazy. These people, they got big houses. And it's huge. And I keep strolling through these neighborhoods, and the bigger the houses get, and I'll get lost. There was a time just a couple days ago, or not a couple days ago, before I laid it down, where I was wandering through. This guy had like 3 houses, and then he called me. And by the way, I didn't answer the first time, and my voicemail is a Rickroll. So he called me with, "Doom, never gonna give you up." And I was like, you got pranked, sucker. And I was like, oh, shoot, maybe that was the guy. I'll call him back. But anyways, I'm driving through this huge place. There's like 3 castles, and they all have the same address. I'm like, this is weird. The GPS is being a little odd. And the guy calls me. He's like, yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't get lost here. So if you're by like the guest house, make sure you want to take a right. Do a little swirl, and if you get close to the 3rd house, you've gone too far. Come back. There's a middle house. It's just across the wave pool. And if you just don't get too close to the dolphins. They're a little bit scared. They're nervous. They're new. So yeah, I'll see you there. Cool. I'm like, what? Huh? So I'm just driving. And then I deliver to this guy, and I'm thinking, well, at least he's got 3 houses. It's going to be a big tip. Usually these big house guys, they don't tip a lot, right? They kind of do bare minimum order, because how'd you get a big house in the first place? Not by being a good person. Not by, wasting money. But yeah, you don't even go do DoorDash, but don't do anything else, but just go drive around your neighborhood. You might be surprised at what you find, what kind of stuff in the air that you'll see. Because I swear these things weren't here before. They're too big for the satellite to have missed these houses. I don't know if it was like a profit from COVID or whatever. Like, oh yeah, we sold toilet paper, we sold Purell, and now we got mansions, baby. But it's just they came out of nowhere. What else was going on? Another blessing. This is just gonna be all doors. This is gonna be all vehicular stuff so far. And I'll probably try and continue it on that journey. I was driving DoorDash or whatever, and I watched an accident happen right before my very eyes. Right, I was driving there, buckled like a gentleman, and I'm looking forward, and I see this guy trying to pull out, and he's like 20 yards ahead. And now I can see it crystal clear because I got 20/20. But I watched this, and the guy's trying to pull out, and all of a sudden his car just stops, and he goes, huh. And I'm like, whoa, did time just slow down? And I look back, and this dog right next to me is still barking. I'm like, okay, we're so good. And I look forward. I was like, what just happened? And then some cars begin to pull away, and another car took his freaking front end off. And I was like, whoa, holy crap, did I just witness a car? I didn't even know I had witnessed a car accident at first. Talk about 20/20, maybe I don't, or I just have bad processing. So I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I'm like holding up traffic. I was like, one second. I got to see this. I got to make sure these guys are okay, but also see the wreckage. So I begin to get closer. Now everybody was safe. Everybody was okay. And as you get closer, I'm like, what's going on? So I see a guy. He gets out of his car, and his shirt's off, and he's just like, whole, like, that's what you do when you get in a car accident. You just go like, oh, couldn't have seen this coming when I ran into that guy. Oh, and time kind of stops. Time kind of stops when you do get into a car accident. I've been in one before, and you'll see it, like, some people are like, whoa, does the radio keep playing? Does time slow down? Do the cars keep just moving around you? Well, in my case, when I got in an accident, I screeched, boom, plowed into the back of this guy. Yeah, the radio kept on playing. It's like, wanna rock and roll. And I'm like, dang, I got in an accident, but this song is going. And I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah, this guy. And the cars didn't even care about me, so I pulled off into the Burger King parking lot, blah, 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 blah. But these guys, they looked dumbfounded. They didn't know what to do. They were completely safe. The airbags didn't even go off. They were just chilling there like, whoa. No, so this guy, he's got his shirt off. Two more guys get out of the car that hit the car. They get out and they have their shirts off. And I'm like, whoa, it's not even hot out today. Like, of all the days to not have a shirt on, it's a cold day. The fall weather's coming. We've had some chilly days. And these guys get off like, what the heck? Did you guys just get back from the pool at 9 a.m.? What's going on? And so I'm like, okay, that car's weird. Maybe it was their fault. Maybe they shouldn't have had, like, maybe put a shirt on. Maybe he'll drive a little bit better. And then I passed by the guy who got hit. He's this guy. He's sitting in his front seat, and he has his hands on the steering wheel, and he's just like this. And I'm like, wow, I feel bad for the guy. And I didn't realize that his shirt's off as well. And I don't know if this is, like, if I didn't get the memo that we're just all supposed to be driving shirtless from now on, like, is this just the time that, as it gets colder, like, you just lose the fabrics, because then your back just gets all sticky into the leather seats. But whatever, like 8 guys flushed out of this accident. Nobody had their shirt on. Some of them had like jeans, dress pants, just anything. And they're just like, they got the big beard bellies, and they're just big, hairy, grizzly bears. And I don't know what this is one of those things I just got to say, because I got to get off my chest and out of my mind, because if I don't, then I'm like, well, whatever happened? But this way I can rewind back on it and look at the podcast and be like, dude, that was weird. Maybe we can investigate further. But right now I don't have the time. I should, because taking breaths. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with driving with your shirt off, if that's some sort of mobility enhancer. Right? You got like less. I don't know. The seatbelt would be a killer though. If it's just like constantly scraping across your nipples like that, it just doesn't feel good. You could just. But they seem to be okay. Well, I mean, not hefty fines for sure. But at least their shirts aren't stained. Okay, they got out of that one clean. Maybe they knew they were gonna get in. Because there was also like some food spilled, or maybe it was just some car liquid, I don't even know, transmission fluid. But either way, they were clean, right? Their shirt, like their stomachs weren't, but their shirts, wherever they were clean. So I don't know if that's the deal, because I could use that too. I talked about in the last episode again, wherever that is, that I'm trying to keep a clean shirt, and maybe the idea to keep a clean article of clothing is just not wear it, right? It's just prized possession. But these guys had it figured out in that sense. Not the the driving sense. They were none the wiser. What else is going back? Roundabouts, dude. Roundabouts. It feels good. It feels good to talk about all this. And this is, the DoorDash and this delivery and work and all this crap, it's been a pretty heavy theme for many podcast episodes that we've had so far. It's going to be pretty sad to say goodbye in that sense, unless I just somehow luck into weird people. Maybe I'll just go out for some ice cream right now at Walmart and see if I can catch some strays, right? Some just weirdness, because they just radiate just in the middle of the night. This is ping, weird alert. But it feels good to say goodbye to this in a way. I don't know what we'll title the episode. Just goodbye, the end, then, or just Fat Thea. I don't know. And if someone's like, hey, your episode Fat Thea was pretty bad, I'm like, whoa, it's pronounced Fat Thea. Okay, you freaking jerk. What up, dude? What's your problem calling it Fat Thea, you little poser? But anyways, it's gonna be weird. I don't know what I'm gonna fill the time with. I find all my weirdos from Dashing and all my complaints and all my whatever. But it's not to say it will disappear completely, but we will, it's gonna have to drop a lot. Yeah, I think that's, what else? What I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, roundabouts. Dude, I wanted to talk about roundabouts real quick, because another thing that I noticed that I just wanted to talk about, it's not super important, but it was one of the things that I had, and I was like, well, if I was going to talk about something, if I ever did a podcast in the middle of the night and I didn't know what to talk about because I was stumbling so fast that I just kept on talking, I was talking so fast that I was cutting myself off, that's the thing that I would talk about. Bars, dude, roundabouts. Why are there so many freaking roundabouts? Needless roundabouts at all, right? You got 6 intersections. Anything above 4, you got 5, 6, 7, 8. I can understand a roundabout, but there's so many roundabouts. Just over east of here, I have no idea which direction it is, but it just felt good to say that. There's freaking, it's a 4-way. You know what works as a 4-way? A stoplight. Or there's a 3. There was a roundabout with only 2 directions. It's a straight line. I don't like who designed this road. A NASCAR guy? He was freaking paving the road. He's like, dude, you know what? We need some left turns. Let's just do a couple laps real quick, and then we can get on our way. And I was like, dude, okay, let's just not. Here's the problem, right? Maybe a 4-way works out. Maybe a 3-way. Maybe people are pretty bad at stop signs. Maybe they don't like the red lights. If you're gonna do that, do a little IQ check. Do a little driver check, okay? Because you don't know how well people are at following this stuff and get through it. Because it's a 4-lane, it's a 4-exit circle, and nobody knows how to get into the circle at all. They're like, oh, you go. You go. He's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take my shirt off. Let me try this real quick. Oh, frick! And because this is the kind of people we have driving around here. They don't have shirts, and we have too many traffic circles for shirtless people, and that's how accidents happen. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Do a little check if you're gonna just start implementing roundabouts for no reason. Like, dude, I love it when they go around. I love the circles. Let's keep doing roundabouts. It's just it's pointless. It's pointless. There's so many roundabouts that just don't even need to be there at all. And everything's just backed up. Everything's backed up. Like, dude, I could have gotten through 18 green lights by now, but I'm still waiting behind this shirtless dude who he's eating Kentucky Fried Chicken and he's dripping mustard all over himself, but at least he's not staying in his shirt because he doesn't have one. Shh. But yeah, it's roundabouts. All right, that's all I have for the show. That's all I have for that. Say goodbye to That's not to say we'll talk about it. Just for that, I'll say I have 2 notes. I'll tell you right now. If you want to feel better, about the work stories, I got 2 more things I'll talk about tomorrow. What time is it? The next episode. It's gonna be crazy though. I don't even know how this is gonna work. I'm gonna be making less bands. The problem here's the real reason I'm stopping all this work is I was just making too much money. No, I'm joking. Like I've said this on the podcast before, but if I ever talk about how much money I have, doesn't mean I have a lot, okay? What you really need to be careful is when I stop saying that, because if I stop saying I got bands, guess what I got? Problems. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. I have no idea how this podcast went, honestly. It's been a doozy. It's been late night. Hopefully I didn't wake up anybody, maybe with that roundabout section I did. But enjoy the orange lights and have a great night. If you're still sleeping, hope your dreams have been beautiful. Hope you're not. I wish I didn't force so many shirtless guys, just overweight shirtless dudes into your head while you slept. But hey, that's life in the midnight shift. Things get weird, and I think, that's what to name it. Late night, midnight, freaking weird frick. All right, hey, thanks so much for listening. Have a great night. Peace!